WIIFTV PM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Riis Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like, hey, said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that? Yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
This might be a small thing, kind of revolving around the situation that don't happen often. I mean, it's involving something that's scalding. Hot the topic is, it needs some resolving. It's kind of puzzling, took time solving. But after I thought about it, sent her to Walgreens to pick up a few things to stop me from stalling. Otherwise, I'ma be blunt and she gon' be bawling. And I don't need that, or her brother calling. Talking them fight words, now we gon' be brawling. I'm more of a stand-up, I don't be falling. For that okie doke, it's better dissolving. Call me a nice guy, yeah, I like nice things. It's best to stay away from chicks that's trifling. I'm not a rival, so I don't be rivaling. But end up in this scene, I won't be wifing, you know?
Avoid a quick fail, take heed to this wise tale.
If you feel me like real, take heed to this wise tale.
Whether male or female, take heed to this wise tale.
Outside or in jail, take heed to this wise tale.
She got a secret, don't know where she keep it, don't know why she hide it, guess it's convenient. She like a zebra, two things at one time. It ain't black and white when you lived it a lifetime. She got a story, might be a fable, no categories. She don't like labels, she like a loner. Maybe she's selfish, something is fishy, but she don't like shellfish. She said her phone broke and she need a new phone. She got a night job, now she got two phones, one for the pubic, one for the public. Freudian slip, y'all, I think that you dug it. She got a curfew, she live in the group home, but she in Miami, getting her look on. She can't be truthful, not what she built for. Mouth might be useful, but nothing to kill for, you know?
Avoid a quick fail, take heed to this wise tale.
If you feel me like Braille, take heed to this wise tale.
Whether male or female, take heed to this wise tale.
Outside or in jail, take heed to this wise tale.
WIIFTV PM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Riis Jackson. Riis Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Riis Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mace said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blotto. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get their steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show on a Thursday. What's it? Thirsty? What y'all call it? The young people call it Thirsty Thursdays. I could do my human beatbox, be like, and then it'd be like when you open up a can, pop. Thirsty Thursday. Y'all not feeling my sound effects today. Do y'all remember? Did you ever see the Police Academy? Remember when old boy used to be like the helicopter?
That black man.
Yeah, man. I used to want to learn how to do sound effects like that. But you know, you be doing that too much. Your parents be like, boy, if you don't stop spitting in your hand. Trying to go, uh-oh. I see you back there combing out the shag. It must be cut day. We're going to get to that in a minute. Look, y'all, this is the Mays Jackson Show on a Thursday right here, live from the studio. It's like the crack of dawn. Man, well, we don't never get boats on our river. They be tripping, man. It's not. You don't see that? Now, Ruthie, you ain't seen they done hook the river up? It's not. They trying to even fix Bubbly Creek. They said
the bodies.
Them done disintegrated by now.
The fish ate it. Okay.
They're biodegradable.
Fish food.
They are right. They sleep with the fishes. As Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
What a threat.
Remember when the mayor was sending people fish?
You talking about Rahm Emanuel?
Yeah. Could you imagine if dude sent you if dude sent you a fish for real?
I'm gonna file a police report.
Well, you know how that'll work out. You'll wind up.
That's a good point.
You'd be like, black people call the police. Speaking of that, man, I'm gonna share a podcast. I'm so proud of my cousin Errol Randall. I was listening to his podcast. The state of Virginia I don't know if the West Virginia, y'all probably be like, what? The state of West Virginia is leading the charge in re-entry and how to anyway, I was listening to a podcast. My cousin is a police officer, and he was like the cousin that I looked up to. But you know how you be like, he was like, you turned into a bad kid. Because he was like, no, let me stop. Anyway, Errol,
yesterday I was listening to a podcast. And you know how you got family members that do stuff, and you be thinking you special, and then you listen to what they doing, and you be like, "Dang, my cousin did all that." I really want him to meet Tyrone Muhammad, actually, because they have connected the ex-offender community, reconnected them with the community, and they have really moved away from listening to the podcast is kind of like what you want to see in policing. And so it was just an interesting thing. So I don't know how I got there, but I do want to connect the dots and get Errol Randall. I was just proud of him listening to the podcast and knowing all the stuff he did. So that's just a diversion. But be on my lookout on my page for the podcast. Also, Ruthie, the Self-Love podcast. I actually, first of all, that means yesterday, basically, I did 5 hours, 6 hours of talk. Because I did the show. Then they had a 2-hour podcast. How I let you book me for a 2-hour podcast? Then it was like, it was the Kappas from U of I. So we was there it was one of the craziest. But I had a really good time on the podcast. I had a good time on the podcast. And I don't even really know. We didn't really have a lot to talk about. I shared it, but it was the self-love. Shout out to We the Brute. Shout out to Devin Gordine. Shout out to all the people from the morning show or from the Lions Den who tuned in last night. We made their numbers go up a little bit, but it was fun to be on. So that's on my page too. Check that out. I'm going to be sharing. I'm going to try to do better about sharing other people's content. Other creators, and again, sometimes when you got so much, you don't realize how many people and how much a share can expand other people. And I be asking people to share my stuff, so I'm going to start to do a little bit.
Make you go viral.
I'm what? Sharing people's
share
stuff?
From the right person.
Okay.
That's how people go viral.
Well, I am going to start sharing. I don't got a lot. I can't make you go viral, but I probably can get you 15,000s. I can get you sums. So anyway, yeah, Tanila's been saying this forever. Mate, I'd be like, I don't look at nobody's Facebook page but my own. But you noticed, I've stopped posting so much beyond like shows and stuff because I really have been reserving my opinions because nowadays they will unfile them. So it's just been a little weird thing. But anyway, Ruthie Mo, I see you Sherpa'd up.
It's cold outside, man.
What outside do you be going to?
A slippery slope.
A slippery slope.
Yes. It still was dark this morning. I had to turn my headlights on. I had to turn my headlights on in a minute.
You have to actually turn your headlights on?
Oh, my goodness. We don't have automatic lights.
I bet you do. You just don't know it.
No, I don't.
Yes, you
do. No.
There's not a way that your car doesn't start and you turn the lights.
That is so funny, Maze. Some people still do have to turn the knob or push the button for their
Riis,
lights.
you don't got to do that.
You got automatic lights?
See?
Yeah.
And Riis?
He must got a new car. What's your year is? Like a 2015?
No, that's actually, it might be a 2020 or 2019.
Oh, see?
Oh, you bad, Joe. You took that bad boy across the world, didn't you?
Yeah, that might have been. Actually, I'm all my, girls. I mean, well, my girl did though. So like, how the car look. My son, he ran into the garage on the right side.
It's a family car.
And my girl didn't hit a parked car, so you know how that goes.
And it's like once it's gone, it's gone. It's like
yeah. Wait. No, see, you got to stay on top of them.
No,
you let them pile
up. Gone is gone.
Nah, once you let it pile up, then you got to stay on top of them.
Did y'all know the average car note like $500, $600, $700?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's crazy
for regular cars, not like horse cars.
What's a horse car?
Porsche.
I honestly, I haven't had a car note in a very long time.
But when you did, was it like $600, $700, $800? Like, was it normal for luxury cars back in the day? That's a lot of money. You say, yeah.
So I would say like the note on like a Navigator in, let's say, 1996 might have been $875.
And that was a Navigator. And now that's for a regular Ford Focus. People,
No way.
people
You
out here
ain't paying $800 for no Ford Focus.
monthly car payments.
That's
went
if
up.
your credit is bad.
No, it's due to the shortage.
Oh, no, that I can see. I debate every day whether I should take my car back because it's worth more than.
This is the only time in history that your car is probably
Worth
going to be
more
worth
used.
more.
So, I'm thinking
Take it
about
back. But then you got to work. How you going to get something else? You're going to pay triple for it.
That's
You're
my
like,
point.
I might have wouldn't have
that. And then Tennille be like, you should get a Tesla until you can't find no charger.
Gas going down a little bit though.
Hey man,
You know, they
because
election
electricity going up.
Oh, I said election.
That too, though. That too. All right, y'all. That's Ruthie Moore in the building. Sherpa up, ready to go. You ready for the winter? You got one. You gonna keep some boots in a minute. Ruthie gonna be. Liz gonna be. First of all, how about I went to Menards yesterday, and they have the Halloween stuff out.
Yep. You're right. I've been saying Halloween stuff. You think it's too soon? August.
Do y'all be talking about me talking about the summer being over? They are at Halloween. They are at Halloween.
Capitalism.
Hey, no, it's overstop.
From last year?
Right.
From last year.
I mean, what you been doing with all that Halloween stuff from the COVID years?
Definitely not paying full price for it.
Oh,
Crazy.
no. Tennille said they got like 90% off
That's
at
what I'm
Target.
saying. Crazy if you paying full price
Y'all
for
gotta pull.
decorations down.
See, I asked y'all what y'all money hacks was yesterday. Y'all ain't want to tell me. I can't wait to hear Reese's money hacks.
Because Maze, it don't become a hack if everybody find out.
Oh, no. See, I want like... So, I'm going to tell you, one of the most tickled times I've ever had in my entire life on this show was when we was talking about the roach thing. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, but just like the whole...
It was roach egg. A roach
A
egg.
roach egg. You ain't seen the roach with the sack with the... What? But it made me laugh. But like the Riis heat hacks, like when you did the blow dryer, bro, I was like, all right, what other, like then I was thinking about like, what did you do to stretch? Like what, like I wanted to,
Maze, these hacks are rooted in trauma. Nobody want to go back and tell you this stuff. We don't want to peel back the layers of the traumatic poverty that we lived in and the way we had to live. It was survival. How y'all turning survival into hacks? That's why soul food costs so much money now.
Oxtails. Well, I ain't seen a damn ox in 300. That when Cat Williams said, "What the hell is an oxtail?" Well, have you seen an ox? Have you seen an ox? So tell me, where does an oxtail come from? Man, he had me cracking up because y'all be swearing up and down. Mama, I said, Mom, what's up with oxtails? Like this after the Cat Williams thing. I'm like, Mom, what's up? She was like, Mason, you would love oxtails. I was like, Mom, when the last time you seen an ox? She was like, so y'all telling me we around here eating cow tails so that we can make ourselves feel better about I do not. So how close does the tail, where do they stop cutting?
Are you serious?
Hell yeah. If you ain't gonna eat chitlins, hold on. But you gonna eat I need to know where they stop the cut. Like how close does it get to, cause I don't want the stump in. Like if it's thick at the end, I don't want that part.
I don't want the bread booty slice.
I mean, if you cutting an oxtail, I'm gonna get to the headlines still.
Oh my goodness.
But the oxtail, if it ain't a foot away, I don't want it. Cause at some point it was laying.
Okay, so Maze, you are underestimating the size of a cow's tail.
How long is a cow's tail?
It's like 5 pounds.
That's weight, not length.
but think about how when they chop them up. So if I got all these little pieces, and you know how much 5 pounds of oxtails is.
No, how long is 5?
Yeah, but I'm saying that's how you gotta calculate the stretchage.
So 5 pounds of the tail, but how close to the
nub, man? You gotta make it stretch.
It said that a cow tail can be anywhere from 20 to 38 inches long.
Okay, so I don't want nothing
You don't want no booty
from
tail.
1 to 12. If you ain't a foot away from the, I ain't even. And then I don't want none of the tip because that's probably a little skinny part. No, thank you. You can keep your oxtails. Y'all
like
eating
oxtails?
ox booty covers. I never had one. Ox booty covers. Look, that's what y'all eating.
You would like it.
No, I wouldn't because I would be thinking, you know what this was.
You eat rump rolls? Don't they come from the booty?
I do not eat rump roast. Thank you very much. Don't be. I barely. Well, do I eat? I will eat some ham though and some bacon.
You eat a chicken wing.
That ain't close to the. That's
But
not a booty
it's
cover.
underarm. What if they?
Booty and underarm
What
is
if- what
different.
if chicken must
That's
be?
what I wash it for. You can wash it.
And you can wash it.
Yeah. Unless you watching internets and they say, "Oh, don't wash your chicken." Man, you better get your.
Oh my God.
You don't have to wash it, man. If you don't get your. Okay. Anyway. Riis the Ruler, DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. Back in the back, combing out the shag. I'm wondering on the trip you're gonna have a color with it. It's gonna be popping. DJ Riis the Ruler, how you feeling this morning on this Thursday?
That's about the best. You already know the rest, man. I'm feeling good. A little tired, but it's all right. I'm good.
Hey man, it's vacation. You good? Like you got 2.5 hours. Then you can be like, I'm out this pops. Well, 3 actually. 2.5, maybe 3 because we still got to go over them buttons. But all that stated, it's like you blessed by the best. We already know the rest. I see you back gang banging with your Memphis folks hat on. What are the Maniac Latic Disciples going to say about this, Riis? I don't know, but it's okay. We're going to get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. Let's get it up and away. The mayor's race is supercharged. I just need for y'all to know it's going down. And the Sophia King entry into the race, do you remember when we talked about the Negroization of Mays Jackson? We're going to talk about the Negroization of the mayor's race. And I gotta say, so here's the challenge that I have, right? You know, I'm mayorally challenged in some cases. And I don't, but I'm watching, like, it's like, I looked at the newspaper today. And when I looked at the newspaper, I said, did they really just do this? Did they really just do this? You know what, I'm going to show y'all, because I'm just telling you, it's like, what did I call it? Like the race, like media redlining. Like I think that the media picks and chooses their racial offense. And you know how I talk about they always find pictures of black people looking their worst? Mm-hmm. They also do apply implied bias, and they activate stereotypes subconsciously or consciously, hoping that we won't notice. So I'm going to show you today's Sun Times. And while I am not the biggest mayoral cheerleader, I did kind of take offense to the way this article looks. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Do you think Obama will weigh in on this? They was talking about it yesterday on the news, and they were saying, nah, he wouldn't stoop to that. He wouldn't get involved in the mayor's race. I was like, excuse me. I remember him getting into a state rep race.
You mean to stump for Alderman Sophia King?
Yep.
Oh, hecky. You know what?
He did for Alderman.
So I think that would happen if the rest of the establishment lined up behind her.
Well, here's what I was thinking. Like, she's from the 4th Ward, University of Chicago, David Axelrod. He has a house in Hyde Park. Why wouldn't he influence the mayoral race? Like, if I could tip the scale, like you could talk, they got all these rules and stuff, but if I could tip the scale for the mayor of Chicago for my girl.
Mm-hmm. But you know what, though? Selfishly, some people might like her better as their alderman.
There are a lot of people, Sister Zakiya, like, we need, well, I'm just going to tell you. I think there is some self. Then there's the other people that have, nobody's going to love you. Everybody's never going to just love you. Somebody's going to always figure out a way to hate. But I think this race becomes supercharged John Scott was saying yesterday that she has a lot, because, you know, she's from Evanston. So she has a lot of North Shore relationships.
Oh, she really got it sold up.
Right. It kind of right. Yeah. And then if she could get like that University of Chicago.
Why wouldn't she be able to?
That's my point. Then you know. Then the Obama Library is, man, please. Do you want to be standing up there next to Lori Lightfoot as President Obama, or do you want to be standing up there next to, well, anyway, it'll be interesting to see. But I know, you know, the mayor's got to be shook, though.
Yeah. I know we're going to talk about it later, but she about to call up Joe Biden. No, because I think Joe Biden might ride with his boy Barack Obama, whatever he say.
Joe Biden gonna be like, you think I'm not messing around with none of y'all. I'm still trying to get over this COVID. Have we seen Joe Biden? Like, I'm just saying, have we seen Joe Biden since he got through with COVID? I don't know that we have. They was that whoever said the weekend at Bernie's thing, that is ridiculous. Did we get the soul plane off the ground? All right, good. Well, look, let's do that. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back. We'll finish the headlines plus the social media question of the day. I'm gonna just read the article because if I try to interpolate what the social media question of the day is, I'll probably be on the letter list again. So, look, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Mace Jackson.
Tune in to the Mace Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, it's the Mace Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Mace said. We out of here. Peace.
Come out and join us for the All Black Women Matter Justice for Treasure Hendricks March on August 20th, 2022 at 8 a.m. on 15th and Western Avenue in Chicago, where her body was found. 35-year-old Treasure Hendricks was found dead on August 19th of 2021 in an RV trailer belonging to ex-CPD officer Charlie Bell. 1 year later, and still no investigation by CPD. We need to bring awareness to the city of Chicago that black women matter too. We need your support.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion has to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:34 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, traffic, and weather update. So head over to sports. The Chicago Cubs will get a win against the Nationals 4-2 and take the series 2-1. While the Royals king the White Sox 8-3. Let's head over to traffic now on the Kennedy. O'Hare to the Loop, 20 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 17. On the Edens, inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange and back will be 28 minutes. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 33 minutes. 27 minutes back out to Thorndale. The Stevenson, 35 minutes from I-355 to the Dan Ryan. Outbound will be 30. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 41 minutes, 26 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 16 minutes to the Loop, 12 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive South, 55th to Jackson and back will be 7 minutes and 8 minutes north. That's Randolph to Bryn Mawr and Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 70 and partly cloudy. Today will be a high of 86 with a low of 70. I'm Riis the Ruler. Happy Thursday here on The Mace Jackson Show.
Back to glory. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn
are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl Ruthie Moore plus DJ Riis, the ruler. Shout out to Church Chicago, Terrence, and Angie Mims. I'm have to hit everybody on up. I have to put the band back together. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Now, it is right around 6:30. So, you know, at 6:30, we welcome all of the Saints from WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, the Saints of WBGX 1570 AM. You can catch us every day from 6:30 to 8 AM. 6:30 to 8 AM on WBGX 1570 AM. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Plus, got to say what's up to all of the sinners who tune in every day early at 6 and stay till 9. That's right, the sinners 6 to 9 every day, Monday through Friday on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I was going to make a joke about the Twitch, but you can get a letter for that too. As Beyonce found out. Can't spaz no more. My bad. No offense. I was just thinking.
What's the alternative word then?
None.
Well, until I get another word.
Okay. You gonna get another letter. You want a word or a letter?
I need some pen pals.
Well, we're gonna be talking about that in a minute. Cause it just seems like
I could write.
But then you be talking again.
I'll be talking again.
Soon. All right, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. That's my girl, Ruthie Moore. My man, DJ Riis, the ruler. Did you see the city projects a $42.7 million property tax increase on top of the CPS increase?
I ain't got it.
Sure you do.
I ain't got it.
$128 million budget shortfall. The mayor has dropped her budget. Looks like she is now, they're saying it's one of the smallest budget shortfalls in the history of that's, but they gonna fix it because they ain't got no police. They ain't got to pay no police salaries. Plus they had all the money from COVID relief. So they say this is the bounce back year. So we're gonna talk about it. It'll be interesting to watch this budget season. Especially considering the contentious relationship between the mayor and her budget chair and, quite frankly, her committee chairs. She's got an ongoing battle going on behind the scenes, so we'll see how that goes. A lot of threats flying around, so it'll be interesting to see. Did you see? Oh, congratulations to Ricky Harris. Are you familiar with Ricky Harris? I know Ricky. He is the new principal at Whitney Young. Black man, former assistant principal, super dope. One of the things that we rarely see in education is black men in leadership, particularly in the city of Chicago. So I'm super excited to see that Whitney Young did not pass out of our hands. So congratulations and much love to Joyce Kenner. And it's pretty dope that she was able to usher in some continuity. Now we got to get that football field back.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Once it's gone, it's gone. Also, Senator-elect Willie Preston will stop in today at 7:30. He's making his rounds. He's got big events this weekend, so he'll be stopping in. Shout out to Willie Preston. You all know we were all very excited to see him victorious. Willie been calling into the show since when we was over at the other place. Remember, Willie? I think Willie Preston got me punched in the stomach, punched in the back by Mary Flowers.
Wait, I ain't never heard his name connected to the story.
Because I was supporting Willie Preston. And we was talking mad smack on the radio. They're my smack talking days. Remember, and then she showed, then Todd invited her to then one day I was at we was at the doctor. How we at the nonviolence breakfast and she stole on me straight up.
She was on the other side of it.
Oh, right. Look, I was talking to somebody, and you know how you just, you ever get punched in the stomach and you ain't ready?
Really, like punched in the stomach?
She punched me in the kidney.
More like a jab?
No!
I need some context. Was it like a jab, like, you ain't right? Or was it like I'm trying to knock your wind out?
She knocked my wind out.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was.
She just walked up to you?
Bro, I was talking to somebody else, and she was like.
That's on site. That's what you call it.
Wait, she didn't even say nothing?
No.
In case y'all don't know.
She did it and kept moving.
That's
no,
what I said.
she ain't keep moving after it.
I was like, you fall, you look and you see her in the.
What the heck, Maze? Did you run after her?
No, I couldn't. My kidney was busted.
Maybe she accidentally ran into
No,
you.
she did not.
Did she turn around and look at you?
Yes.
Oh, she bold with it.
She was bold with it. Then she showed up to one of our live broadcasts like, what you gonna do?
Dang.
On site.
She was like, and I'm gonna be on this show. And it was me and Ty. And I was like, all right. But then I realized Ty was getting paid more than me. So I was like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that's not?
It's kind of like she jail yard tried to shank you.
I wholeheartedly agree. If it would have been a knife.
Yeah, that was like a jail yard shank.
That was the walk by, drop the knife, keep going.
Somebody grab
or
it,
put
wrap it up.
And go on, and they take a shirt and it's gone somewhere else. And, yep.
It's the look back, though, for me. What kind of look was it? Oh!
Necker.
The unmitigated gall.
Say something else.
Talk on your little radio. Talk about that on your little radio station.
Man.
I'm telling you. Y'all, if y'all were to know the things that have happened to me in the space of this radio show, people would not believe, like, the things. You just wouldn't believe it. Like, you would not believe the inboxes that I get, the hate mail. We're going to talk about, like, really? This thing that I do, it could be stressful. Think about going somewhere and people are around this mug talking about. Remember y'all remember when Joe Barrios was like, "I'll put you in the casket." I was at an event. He said, "I'll have you in the casket." Like it, real talk. Oh yeah, I'll be catching it. Remember that? Do you remember I showed you the one about the people, the girl who was like, "I'm a you hating you." Did I show you that one?
Oh, what?
A you hating you.
I mean, is that what they said, or are you just filling in the? Okay, got it.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but anyway, yes. All right, so it's the Maze Jackson show. Senator-elect Willie Preston. Oh, speaking of Willies, Willie Wilson, Dr. Willie Wilson, rode the bus all the way to the west side yesterday and was like, the elected officials are out of touch. Shout out to Dr. Willie Wilson. He rode the bus. I was about to say, when's the last time? Could you imagine the mayor on the train? On the L? She gonna do it soon.
To see him on your bus.
Right. You probably be like, oh, is he giving out money? You get on the bus and Willie Wilson sitting in the back. You be like, I'm riding this one out.
Dude.
I'm riding this one out. Yeah, I'm going where you going, Willie.
My stop is 25th and I'm on 100th.
I'm getting off at your stop.
I don't even
Get off at your stop, Dr. Wilson. Where you getting off at?
Some money or something.
Shout out to Dr. Wilson for riding. I mean, but he took the bus all the way out west, right?
He got to see what's going on in the neighborhood.
That's what he said. Hey, man, next he gonna get him. Remember when Mayor Byrne? Remember when Mayor Byrne got the, she moved into Cabrini Green?
She ain't stay long.
You finna go kick that Buckingham Fountain next. You gonna see Willie Wilson at Buckingham.
Don't make fun of Willie Wilson on that. Do y'all remember when I had my birthday at the hotel and I had a 3-day weekend party and Willie Wilson showed up? Dr. Wilson showed up, showed out, kicked it. Everybody that was some funny stuff. That was okay.
I would like to see Dr. Wilson riding bikes.
Who is that? Lucretia Nafley says that Mayor Lightfoot rides the bus and train too. Rom did as well. Well, they need a better press person there. They need a better press. They need to send out some better pictures.
Which bus line he ride? Anybody know the number?
I don't know. But he said, what bus go out west? Did he ride the Madison bus?
That would have been crazy with the Chicago Avenue. So like the Madison, Chicago Avenue.
He might have been on the
North Avenue.
That's like whatever bus he was on.
He was on Belmont. Belmont, it go out west.
I ain't gonna take it too far now.
So we gotta get Dr. Wilson back in here. I want to talk to all of the mayoral candidates if they get in, but you know life of a side chick. You said no, you don't. Well, realistically, Ruthie.
Okay, I get the.
You're getting old.
You soon too will learn. Damn.
Oh Lord Jesus! All right, let me see. Oh, and congratulations to Jandria Holt. Yesterday, unfortunately, I was not able to attend, but yesterday, the people showed up and showed out, and congratulations. Her son will be home with her on Monday. Nothing like a mother's love, particularly for their sons. And so I'm just happy for her. Congratulations to Jandria Holt, and thank you to everybody who showed up yesterday. Also, thank you to everybody who showed my son some love. Let me just tell y'all, though. My son cannot be getting more birthday love on my page than me. So y'all got some work to do. Because for real, he already be walking around the house looking like he think he could take somebody. Now you're going to be like, look, I got more. Your people love me more than you. Boy, don't you better.
Don't he work out like at least 2 or 3 times a week?
Yeah, sort of.
I think he could take you.
Okay, Ruthie. Don't get that boy hurt. Cause I'm gonna tell you, he ain't. I ain't fighting fair. I'm gonna show you a street fight. Ain't no squaring up, boy. You gonna be. Don't play with me. You gonna have to. Hey man, get that look in your eye. I want to be 97, and I want you to be thinking, I don't know if I want this business. I don't know. Remember that time? So anyway, y'all, those are the headlines. This is the Mace Jackson Show. Let me, Riis, hold on. Before you do this, I want you to get the button ready because I want to talk about a story that is, I would not say near and dear to my heart, but is something that I believe is something we should talk about. Because we've had our own experience with this. But I'm going to, let me just say this. I would 100% love for our audience to call in and answer this question. All right? So, Riis, go ahead if you don't mind and hit the button.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Does Darren Bailey owe the Jewish community an apology? Now, obviously, I have a lot of opinions on this, and I was writing how I was going to say it, and instead of allowing myself to become a target, what I am going to do, if you don't mind, is I am going to read this article directly from the Sun-Times, word for word, so I don't. Now, Riis, before I do this, though, you had a clip for me yesterday, right? In reference to J.B. Pritzker, and I want to put it in. I want to read it. I want to start with this, and then I'm going to read the article, and then I want you to play it again, and then I want to have the discussion. All right, so you got that clip. I know you know what I'm talking about. Play that clip.
Of all the African Americans I can think that are sort of like qualified and vetted, and people will say, oh, that's a pretty good pick. The one that is least offensive and maybe gets you the most because it gets you that Secretary of State appointment is Jesse West.
Pritzker. I'm reading directly from the Chicago Sun-Times. The article is by Tina Sefandelis, okay? Hold on. All right. Pritzker. Bailey owes apology to Holocaust survivors for offensive comparison to abortion. Pritzker also called on more Republicans to speak out against the comments. Why can't Republicans just stand up and say what Darren Bailey said was wrong? Pritzker asked. Why can't they do that? Governor J.B. Pritzker, who helped build the Illinois Holocaust Museum in Skokie, on Wednesday said Republican rival Darren Bailey must apologize to Holocaust survivors in the state for saying that the Nazi genocide of European Jews during World War II can't compare to the deaths from abortion. What Senator Bailey said was offensive. It's offensive to me as someone who is Jewish, and it's offensive to me as somebody who built a Holocaust museum with Holocaust survivors, Pritzker said at an unrelated Springfield news conference. And it's offensive to those survivors. He owes an apology to them. He owes an apology, especially to the survivors and their families. Bailey made his comments in 2017 as he was running for state representative, but they first came to light last week in a report by the nonprofit Jewish news organization The Forward. Last week, Bailey initially tried to explain his remarks, but the Southern Illinois state senator made matters worse for himself on Tuesday, claiming the Jewish community themselves said he's actually right to compare the Holocaust to abortion. The Jewish community themselves have told me that I'm right. That ad went out a day after we met with the Jewish community, Bailey said in an interview on WSPY radio. And Pritzker, knew that. So the timeliness was no mistake. And all the people at the Shabbats that we met with and the Jewish rabbis, they said, no, you're actually right. Rabbi Avraham Kagum, director of government affairs at Lubavitch Shabbat of Illinois, told the Sun-Times, we don't know who Bailey met with, and his comments do not reflect our position. Pritzker has already used Bailey's own words in a television ad, calling them disqualifying, but the Democratic governor is now pushing for Bailey to apologize to Holocaust survivors and abortion rights supporters in Illinois. Pritzker has also called on Republicans to speak out against the comments, including Illinois House Republican leader Jim Durkin of Western Springs, U.S. Representative Adam Kinzinger, Burr Ridge Mayor Gary Grasso, and State Rep, listen to this one, State Rep Steve Reich. Remember him? That's old boy we went to go visit. He apologized. Are among the few Illinois Republicans who have done so. Why can't Republicans just stand up and say what Darren Bailey said was wrong? Pritzker asked. Why can't they do that? Speaking to reporters at a news conference at the Illinois State Fair, Pritzker said the remarks and the aftermath are proof that Bailey is a guy who does not understand what it is to be the leader of the state of Illinois. Why can't Darren Bailey just apologize? He has now twisted himself into knots, first trying to explain what he said, then going back and say, oh no, I really didn't mean what I said, Pritzker said. Bailey avoided taking questions from reporters at a Chicago news conference on Monday in which the Southern Illinois farmer received the endorsements of the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police and the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police. His campaign didn't respond to a request for comment on Pritzker's call for an apology. In the 2017 video posted on his page, Bailey said, I believe that abortion is one of the greatest atrocities of our day, and I believe it's one of the greatest atrocities probably ever. The attempted extermination of Jews of World War II doesn't even compare on a shadow of the life that has been lost with abortion since its legalization, Bailey said in the video. Bailey has tried to downplay his remarks last week, saying in a statement that the Holocaust is a human tragedy without parallel. In no way was I attempting to diminish the atrocities of the Holocaust and its stain on history, Bailey said. I meant to emphasize the tragedy of millions of babies being lost. On Wednesday, Pritzker said Bailey doesn't understand that he owes an apology, certainly to the survivors of Holocaust, who are still among us in the state of Illinois, and all of us who care about how the governor speaks about the subject of the choice of that women, very difficult choice that women need to make sometimes to exercise their reproductive rights. Social media question of the day. Does Darren Bailey owe the survivors of the Holocaust an apology? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. So, obviously, as I read the article, there were a lot of similarities. let me say, I understand a lot of what was said. So there's a few things, in my opinion, that I recognize. One, the match, which is the article written in the forward by the local community paper, the Forward. There was the Fuse, which was the Forward article, the Match, which was launched yesterday or 2 days ago by the leader of the Jewish caucus, Representative Morgan. Then there is the explosion, which is the governor calling for the apology. I have and remain concerned that weaponization of racism and bigotry as a political tool have a negative impact on all of us. I would tell you that as we black people continue to give up our power and allow the most powerful people to use racism and bigotry as a tool for themselves and against us is a challenge. I do not want to dip into this situation, but I do think context matters. And I feel as though I understand the comparison that he was trying to make. Remember we talked about single issue voters a while back? There are right to life people who are single issue voters that is the only thing in the world that matters to them. And it almost becomes as if you have to ignore what your beliefs are as compared to being in a space where we can agree to disagree. And I think if you, I'm not gonna get into the debate, but I think if you are a right to life person and you see every abortion as a person or a human or a life, mathematically, I don't want to say it's like you think I'm like right talking about twisting yourself into a pretzel. But I'm trying to understand, does he need to apologize, and why are we going here? Don't make that face at me like that.
Because you know why we're going here.
I'm saying, you telling me that this man can't be with $1 billion, with $12 billion. This where we going? Like,
I would. It's so.
And don't do nothing that will harm yourself. So I'm not even asking you to jump off the cliff.
So when you said that the Ford was like I think you might have said you said community paper. I looked it up. They got like a $6 million annual revenue operating budget type of deal. So it's not just a little community paper. And I think if you culturally have the infrastructure set up, then you can throw rocks and hide your hand. So it's a whole system that's already set up and in place because of the infrastructure that exists. So you can then, so if you got your culture set up in a way that all the systems work together, then you know that you can rely on journalists or certain newspapers whose sole goal it is to put out this group's news. So literally, if you have the infrastructure set up, you can do whatever you want to. You can do whatever you want to do, and it's all about controlling your own narrative, and then being able to, but not just controlling your own narrative, but then being able to go on the offense or pivot to the defense against anybody that says anything that you don't want your narrative to be.
And so, and it's working, and we see it in kind of segments. So, like, pay attention, because we just saw this whole thing work. We saw these infrastructures work just a minute ago, and Darren Bailey's walking right into them.
Also, you know how like currently in society, there is a push for people to go back and extract things that you have said and make you change it. Like the Beyonce,
Monica Lewinsky,
Beyonce. You got Lizzo, and then you got Spaz. So when I went to the Ford's website, the first story on the top left-hand side says, "Is it too late now for Justin Bieber to say sorry for doing a Nazi salute on stage?" So it's an overall movement. Like, it's not just within journalism. Like, this is the movement to go back and make people retract and change things is like at an all-time high. And it's a cultural phenomenon that's going on right now. And this community is not the only community. You got the LGBTQ plus community also doing the same thing. You got the disabled community doing the same thing. You got women's groups doing the same thing. You got black people doing the same thing. You know, they ain't arrest the lady for Emmett Till, but that's a whole nother story. So I think it's just something that's happening in society, and it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of started with people going back and using people's social media to jam them up. Now they going back and finding old interviews, and so it's not. I don't think this problem is unique, and I wouldn't even call it a problem. I think it's just the way that people do business now. But see, when you insert that into politics versus you doing it because you're trying to right or wrong, I think it just sets such a dangerous precedence.
At the same time, we got to ignore Joe Biden's old stuff, though.
Selective memory.
It's like, so if we going to
forget about slavery, forget about the past.
Right. So for everybody else but us, right? So do you understand how crazy that is? So I feel no pain for Darren Bailey per se, but what I do recognize is like, Y'all, we the only people that can't even like let.
Well, the same. Okay, so I don't know what happened after Darren Bailey said that a long time ago. Did anybody say anything? Was it any type of outcry, or did nobody say anything? And now they just going back and put in a file and be like, we gonna use this.
That's usually what it is, because remember, we were a lot less sensitive. Like, you could say a lot more stuff. And you know how I know this is real? Because Facebook added a feature that now allows you to go back and everything that you had public, just push the button and it makes it all to friends only, so nobody else can look at it. And you have to go through a process, but it'll go back to all your public posts, and it'll also limit how far people can go back on you. Kind of crazy. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Does Darren Bailey owe an apology? And I guess I don't want to be in the white folks battle, but I am just suggesting that this strategy could have a backlash at some point. You don't think so?
So I think it depends. It does set a very dangerous precedent, but it's kind of like, do you have the infrastructure to execute? Who's
gonna check me, boo?
Yes, and I think that if you literally, if you control the narrative,
just think. So think about them empowering their small media outlets, and us being like, "Oh, that nigga Maze talk shit." Don't. Oops, excuse me. Oh, like, you're supposed to be able to leverage your media outlets,
and it's a nonprofit.
Because just like the Sun Times, right? It's a nonprofit, but they can fund their own nonprofits. We don't. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Look, y'all, we'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
Official Monster Truck Series. Witness the world's best drivers competing in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Be part of the action.
Let's hear it! Make some noise!
Brought to you by Great Clips. Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. See savings coupon for restrictions and details. Coming to Allstate Arena September 16th through 18th.
To my dreams, hey, guapole, the food tastes better. I stopped smoking squares, healing from the inside out, making repairs. I forgave some people, thanked them for the lessons, cause holding on to it was blocking my blessings. No more stressing, worry dishonor God, so I just pray, and I'm loving my odds. Mingle with like minds, gravitate where light shines. Graduate, masters, your rhymes ain't like mine. Big dank from the west side, this is my best self. Taking vacations, hoping the rest helps. Got a career now, loving what's ahead. My spirit is free from the stuff that I shared.
I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about.
I'm feeling so good now, walking on higher ground. got out the country, visit some new towns, made some new friends, let go of some bad ones. Soon as that took place, everything got fun. My life started going up, opportunities showing up. I'm back where I wanna be, no headaches and throwing up. Reconnect with the homie, it's positive energy, vibes and wavelengths. It's all about frequency. I'm back with my first love, it feel like the first time. I'm back in the studio, this ain't my first rhyme. I wake up every day, blessed as heavenly. Before I ain't say much, now I got much to say. Raised my credit score, got rid of some past debt. Heard that's attractive, well call me a magnet. Plugged into an outlet, living life outright. All on my kid cutty, focusing day and night. Right?
Now ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. Feel good,
See, my state gets busy, that's the cardinal rule.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
We need money and no symbolism. It's Mays and Riis, Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect, you oppress us all.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I know y'all didn't want it. Y'all, I know. I already know. Apology, to apologize or not to apologize. That is the question. Somebody probably told Darren Bailey, look, bro, you apologize once, it's finna start a slippery slope. You apologize once, and they gonna go into every video you got and start having you, every potential goodness gonna be a string of people. So say hell no, and then the next time somebody come around, you be like, don't get that bull out my face. And then you establish the precedent like they don't care. Right? Like you could do all that and you don't care. And I think, I want to know who the people were he talked to. That's what I want to know. All right, Ruthie, it's time to talk about something else. I've been trying to get to this for about 3 days. The Lollapalooza deal. Ruthie, you would think that Mayor Lightfoot, in her infinite wisdom, would be like a supreme negotiator. But apparently, Mayor Lightfoot was not as strong a negotiator as we would have liked for her to be when it came to Lollapalooza. And I'm going to talk about Lollapalooza, and then I'm going to talk about something else. Hey, first of all, let me go back. Do you all remember when Summertime Shy became a thing?
When it became a thing amongst us, or when it became like
Let's start with us. Let's start with us. Like, I feel like Summertime Shy was a thing. Y'all gonna yell at me, but where I most distinctly remember it is when the girl had the red cup thing. The young lady. I don't really want to bring her up from the past, but I remember she sent out the email, and it was like all of these summer festivals and things. So let me back up. Summertime Shy to me became a thing. Would you say, what, 2011, 12, 13, 15?
I think before then, I remember summer. So was summertime? I remember Summertime Shy before it was like
a hashtag.
Like a hashtag, yeah.
Okay, so
And
I don't.
So I'm a little confused about, because I think non-digital origins still matter.
I agree with that. So I don't remember Summertime Shy until it was
A hashtag.
digital.
Okay.
Until it was digital, right? And it was attached to like a list. And it was like a list of all of the things that black people were doing. And it started out as email. It was an email list that was Summertime Shy, which was like 2010, 2011. That's where I remember it. And then when then social media took off, right? Like 2014, 15 and when I say took off, where it was like everybody was using it as the promotions. Summertime Shy was actually a printed list, like a list that came to me in the email that we printed.
See, I didn't know that. I always thought Summertime Shy. It was never a thing. It was more of a feeling, an experience.
So I believe summer in the right. I believe that. I always said summertime in Chicago. Chicago's the best city in the world, and I think everybody acknowledges. But like the concept, Summertime Shy itself, not shy in the summer, but and Summertime Shy to me was the encapsulation of how great Chicago was, and it became contained in this phrase that we started, and then it moved on. That's my recollection. I'm not saying that that's what it is. But I think about Summertime Shy and the evolution. And when Chicago was the greatest city in the summer, and where we are now, and just thinking about this Lollapalooza thing and the deal that they cut, and how we've embraced Summertime Shy. But now Summertime Shy really is the corporatization of all of the things that we loved about Chicago, to me, in the summer, right? Like, so now you think about it, they death knelled the Taste of Chicago. The Taste of Chicago, in my estimation, was the common man's Lollapalooza. Because even if you didn't have money, right, you could take over Grant Park for 4 days, right, or it was damn near 2 weeks. And so in that 2-week process, you could see, regardless of what genre that you had, and each one of those genres, in my estimation, has broken off into a money-making festival somewhere else. And so now that I think of Summertime Shy, and I'm going to go back, and I know y'all going to be like, this, but I remember when festival life was new to Black Chicago. When, shout out to Allison Spetchins in the South Shore Chamber, and even Leslie Hairston at the time. So besides the Chosen Few was the Black Festival, was the festival. That was it. Like, then there was, you had the Taster, would have these little street block parties, and it was like a block party concept that was more of the Chicago thing.
I was gonna say it's like, what's the difference between a festival and a picnic?
Right.
Because Chicago was picnics summertime picnics.
Right. So you was at the Dan Ryan Woods all the time, right? Every week at the Dan Ryan Woods, there was Northern, Southern, Eastern, Western, then Sigmas, Qs, Kappa, right? Like, and by the time the summer was, summertime shy for us back then was not these giant festivals. You had the Chosen Few, then all of a sudden there was this explosion. But what the explosion to me was when the white folks said we can make money off this. Do you remember when the Chosen Few was free? The South Shore Summer Festival. I remember the first year we did it, right? We did it on 73rd Street, and we blocked off the street, and we put a stage there. And it was open to the people, and the whole premise was the city was funding grants for you to do these festivals in your neighborhood where you could go outside and see the OJs or whoever else right there on your block. Well, now what you see is summertime shy is pay to play, right? Like now, if you think about it, what festival is free, right? You used to have, we would go down, so like you think about the Taste, you had the Blues Fest and you had the Gospel Fest, right? So you had like almost the same amount of time free to Chicagoans downtown. That is now, and all of the kids and everybody came downtown for the Taste of Chicago, and we figured it all out. Now, that same downtown is $200 for a festival ticket for the weekend that our kids are barred from coming to, because they ain't got the tickets to be downtown. And so as I thought about, as I was going through this, and then I was looking at this Lollapalooza deal, it's like, y'all, we have slowly, this is the erosion that has occurred, but we have slowly given away all of our block party neighborhood, like you got the Black Greek picnic, but I don't really see everybody out there at Dan Ryan Woods anymore, because it's always something. And so then you went from having large block parties and funded parties on the block to then the South Side, then Chosen Few went to paid. Not tripping, but somebody said we got to stop giving these people this parks for free, because what happened was the white folks was like, hey man, that's valuable land. We'll pay to have it. So now the Chosen Few picnic, which was done out of their pocket, but it wasn't now I remember the year it converted, and they was like, somebody said you got to pay for the park. And now you got to pay for those police services, and now you got to pay. So now they put a fence around the park. So now we've become used to it. Check it out. There were no black festivals. Can you check? Willie Preston is here. I told him to come to the door. Can you let him in? Come to the side. You think about, and I was, like, as I was thinking about this, and I want to go into it a little bit more, but when you think about it, Ruthie, Lollapalooza, and the city trading Lollapalooza, so now they have a 10-year contract in which the more money they get, the more money they make, the less we get to keep, right? They have expanded Lolla to increase it by 60,000 attendees, right? But then put a cap on the money that we can collect. So now I tell you, you can increase your attendance $200 times 60,000 times on top of what you've already made. But I tell you that if I make more money, now once I make $80 million, you're on a sliding scale down. The mayor cut this deal while Lollapalooza was happening, which means that she probably told Escarino, I don't care what you need to do. I need to be on that stage before Sunday night to close to make my campaign announcement. And I don't care what you need to do to get it done. Because when you look at this deal, Ruthie, the only thing that Lolla has to do is pay $100,000 for tennis courts. So there is no long-term investment. And check this out. They get to approve any other multi-day festival in Grant Park. if the city wants to have any other multi-day festival in Grant Park, with the exception of Blues Fest, Gospel Fest, and this scaled down version of Taste of Chicago, then they have to get the approval of Lolla. So imagine now you got to go to Lollapalooza to ask them, can we use our park?
Wait, what? I must.
No, you ain't missed it.
I must be missing what you're saying. Are you saying that if any other people or entity want to do a festival in Grant Park, with the exception of the couple that you just named, Lolla has to agree upon it?
Yes.
For how long? Within
For 10 years.
Within the 10 years?
Yes. So for 10 years. So now if I decide I want to do the old school hip hop festival of the world, it's either you pay Lolla to say yes. If it's anything over 20,000, and what they did was they wrote the law to protect that Sueños Fest. So they get to keep theirs. Sueños Fest, and then those other three. So think about this. Lollapalooza is now in control of Grant Park. The mayor auction. Remember when I told you there was going to be a fire sale? Grant Park is now auctioned off, and Lolla says that, and they control anybody else over 20. Slow down. Okay. It was a 3-page contract. Here's the agreement term summary. CPD and C3 shall collaborate to avoid Chicago Park District, and C3, that's Lolla, shall collaborate as necessary to avoid similar activity, multi-day music festivals as characterized by type of entertainment, number of days, and number of stages in Grant Park. In no case shall Chicago Park District, without the written consent of C3, permit a music festival in Grant Park to allow more than 20,000 people daily attendees to run more than 2 days. Riis, that means y'all cannot be going down to Buckingham Fountain with organized. Okay. The agreement reads, that appears to mean another C3 run festival, the 2-day Sueños Music Festival, would be allowed to go forward. So they own that too. I didn't realize that was owned by. So now they got, check this out. They got May. They opened the season in May. No, in June. So they got June and they got August. And we as the residents
No, you're right. It's May. It's May 28th and 29th.
So they get to open. We get to use the park in June. They start shutting the park down halfway through July to be ready for Lolla in August. So essentially, they have taken Grant Park and auctioned it off. In the previous Lolla deal, wait a minute, wait. I want to get to the sliding scale. All right, the new agreement stipulates that check this out. C3 will pay the Park District a share of the total festival revenue, including admissions, food and beverage, merchandise, third-party licensing, sponsorships, and streaming. Whatever share C3 plays would be based on a series of brackets. 5% for the first $30 million, 10% for the first for $30 to $50 million, 20% above $50 million to $70 million. Now check this out. Now here's where it gets funny. You was at 20% between 50 and 70 million. We already know they make over 50 to 70 million, right? And they just got 60,000 capacity increase. If you make above 70 to 80 million, we go down 15%. If we make from 80 to 85 million, you go down to 10%. If you make above 85 million, guess what? We go down to 5%.
What? That's a sweet lick.
Now combine this. I just want you to combine this with NASCAR that they're going to shut down downtown for too. So now you do not have access because and NASCAR is in July. So you're going to leave the shutdown of Sueños Fest from, let's say, May 15th to June 30th. To May 31st. Then you got to start getting ready for NASCAR, right? In July. Then coming out of NASCAR, you got to get ready for Lolla. No, then you got to have fake. Now do you understand why they're killing the taste? Because why do I want y'all coming downtown? Why do if I can make you pay to come downtown, we're going to give you your free concerts, but we're going to keep shrinking them. You just watched the erosion of, think about from Taste of Chicago and Grant Park to now. Think about that. I distinctly remember seeing New Edition at Grant Park for free. I distinctly remember seeing De La, like they brought the biggest acts for the purpose of the taste, even though it was a burn kind of thing and it evolved, was to make the city accessible. My thing is, Mayor Lightfoot, you ain't even getting your own vote. You're not even getting, these ain't even benefiting the people that you need to vote for. Like, my thing is, yes, all of this looks good, and maybe this is all national posturing, but if your residents, and I'm gonna read to you some of the comments, because this just happened to us, and you see what's happening with the Riot Fest. What has happened is the white folks have come to our parks and facilities and seen them and said, we can do this here because we don't care. Nobody cares about those people, right? Like, it was the West Side. That's why you saw Riot Fest. That's why you saw them being able to put the smoke out in the middle of Madison, because there isn't concern. Who cares about the people in Douglas Park? Who cares about the people that have to travel up and down Madison? Especially if you from Detroit and you making a decision from downtown. Yeah, it sounds great. But who is the mathematician that is saying, I am pissing off the voters that I need? Like, these festivals are not for Chicagoans. Lollapalooza, going out on that stage for Lollapalooza does not deliver you Chicagoans. It delivers you white kids from the suburbs who are busy doing drugs. Now, if somebody calls me and tells me that Cousin Juan got a 10-year contract at Lolla that's going to make her $1 million walkaway, maybe I get it. If somebody told me that we were in that deal, because when we get through talking to Willie Preston, I'm going to read to you what the people who come in think about you and your neighborhoods when they come do these things. Look, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. Ruthie, why you keep saying,
Because I did not know that Sueños Fest was owned by the same people as Lolla. But I will say, from a business standpoint, that if I created, because I think footprints are unique. If I created a unique footprint, I wouldn't want somebody just coming in and replicating. So I
go my thing. Do they have to be Chicago residents at least? Does Perry whatchamajigam, do C3 have an office in Chicago?
And I recall when the taste was free that the crime was skyrocketing. I just want to put that out there. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying when it was free, then I think they started charging $10 or $20 to kind of combat that element of the freeness.
I remember the Taste of Chicago for years and 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 years. And it was always going to be some fights. It was always going to be the folks and them coming down. It was always but it was all part of the character of Chicago.
But it was the wilding, the social media, the ability for the youths to commit those, what they call them, wildings. And they was on social media being like, hey, let's meet up here. And da-da-da. It was like it wasn't new, but it was like on social media blast for all to see. And I think that shook the powers that be to the core to the point that they said, okay, we have to put some safeguards in place to keep these black children from committing these wildings, quote unquote.
And that's where you got the festivals. And then let me also tell you that it was replaced by Chicago Gourmet. And so it was like that was starting in the Rhyme era when they started tempering down the taste and then making Grant Park a place. Have you ever been to Restaurant Week? I mean, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Chicago Gourmet? Again, it's like a taste of Chicago, but it's $200 for a ticket. But good Lord, it is worth it. Look, I'm going to take this call, and then we're going to go to, I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to bring Senator-elect Willie Preston in because he's got a lot going on. We want to talk about it and get him supported as he prepares to go to Springfield. Caller, you're on the Mays Jackson Show. What's up?
Good morning, Mays. Byron here.
You trying to get your vice president status rank up. You putting points, you putting money in the bank. What is up, Byron?
Well, I got two quick comments, basically. Basically, on the previous topic, which was the canceling of, people going back and bringing up stuff on people and trying to bring them down. There's one person that they can't do it to, and who's that person?
Richard Irvin?
No, think federal.
Don't say Donald Trump.
There you go. Remember, he called everybody anything. He would not go back and say, and
did he call us niggas?
He went on and won. He went on and won.
Because he could.
Man,
he said he could grab him in the cooch, and when he did that, when he said I'm gonna grab him in the cooch, and nobody stopped him, I was like, man, that's hey, don't apologize.
McCain is no war hero. Can you imagine that? He's no war hero. He got captured. He said that. And one of them, and everybody's squirming. See, we are so weak as a country now. We let these little white liberal piece of crap tell us what we can say and what we can't say. Even comedians are having problems now. Comedians are having problems. Except for Shapiro, because Netflix says, this is our Negro. You don't mess with him, you can leave. See, some people are making a stand. Maeve, some people are making a stand, and some are just cowering down. We can't cower down to these little piece of crap. That's all they are. They're home they're looking for things to bring you down. You're not looking for stuff to uplift you. That's the name of the game. Bring you down. Bring you down. Bring him down. Bring him down. That brings the whole damn country down. Because even I'm scared to say certain things, like abortion with your guest next to you. I didn't even want to talk about killing babies. I know she's going to squiver. You know what I'm saying?
Byron, you don't know what I'm going to Byron, hold on a second. You don't know what I'm going to do. You don't know what I'm going to do. So you say what you say what you would like to say. Okay, but say what you would like to say.
But I don't want to get canceled.
Nobody canceled you. If you was going to get canceled, you'd have been canceled.
Byron, let me tell you something. You would have been canceled. We would stop answering the phone.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I try to be nice. Because some of the things I want to say, don't say.
Well,
so I try to be nice.
Because I'm going to say stuff to you. Because, Byron, we know you ain't Adolf.
Okay.
So some of the stuff you be saying already be a little wild. But we be going with it.
Okay.
Ruthie say, you done poked the bear.
I'm just saying. I don't bother nobody. But you gonna stop calling up here and saying my name in your commentary for what you ain't gonna say. Don't use me as your shield. Say what you gotta say. Ooh. Say it with your chest, Byron. Stand 10 toes on it if you gonna say it.
Okay.
Don't get me.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you. Thank you very much. But all I was trying to say, Rudy, is that in the back of my mind, I'm thinking those things. And in regular life, we all do it. Even with my friends, they're more liberal than me, right? And I have to be conscious of saying things because it upsets them. It upsets them, little stuff. Like I tell them that 11% of black kids in Illinois can do math at grade level, and 22 only can do reading at grade level. To me, it's pathetic. Oh, Byron, you just this and you that. That's racism. Everything is based on racism because you don't go home and try to better yourself. But anyway, let's get off the topic. But back to the contracts. What's in that those contracts, especially the race car one? I heard we only making like $100,000.
$500, Byron, but it's not gonna be worth it. Okay. It's not gonna be worth it. It's the $500,000. They already make $20,000 million, and we gonna get 5%. That ain't. We don't even get no points.
And black women love black women love this man so much they can try to put her back in. And I always ask, what's in it for us? What does she carve out for us, Maze? What does she carve out for us?
I think it's funny because I think that's what all of the aldermen were asking too, whether they were black, white, Asian, or Latino.
They were left out with that contract. They were left out of the negotiation with that contract with the NASCAR. She did it all on her own because she knows she's on the way out, right?
She is. It's a fire sale.
She getting all the kickbacks. She getting the kickbacks later. Just like Mayor Daley when he sold the Skyway. It's the same concept. And these aldermen, they should be squealing. That's why I brought that subject. They're scared too.
Byron.
They're scared to say what they need to say because there's only one alderman, downtown alderman, who's calling her out. Go ahead.
I gotta stop you because I gotta get Willie Preston in here, the senator-elect. Byron, you know I love when you call me. You crack me up. Ruthie said, "Don't test her
no more." Keep my name out your mouth.
Your Will Smith voice.
Right, don't let her see because she gonna come up on the stage. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. When we come back, we are going to be talking to State Senator-elect Willie Preston. Y'all, you can't see how excited I am and how happy I am to be having this conversation with this brother. We have seen him since he's been, I would tell you, we've been on the same journey during the same amount of time, and he has reached the mountaintop. Well, at least he done got on the mountain. Next up, we're going to see what's up. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
I want to know, is there an offensive black people list? Who manages it, and do black people have to honor it?
Maze. You're Uncle Tom. That's why you're an offensive. And the reason why you're Uncle Tom is the real story of Uncle Tom. How he worked for his freedom, and then the slave master reneged on him and wouldn't let him get his freedom. So you know what he did? He left. You're messing with the church's money. You were smart enough to work your way off, so you offended the white folks, and then you offended the black folks because your ass left, and because they wouldn't. And who manages the left is both black folks and white folks, because if you see in that situation, the black folks is just as bad as the white slave owner that Uncle Tom left.
What happens if you say that and someone gets offended?
You ran off the plantation, brother. That's why you're offensive. That's all I got, bro. Keep being offensive.
Thank you.
Maze Jackson.
In my mind, gotta designate what to leave, what to take, and appreciate. A lot of people talk fly, but I levitate.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the rule. I think Ruthie went and sat out in the hall. She be bouncing out on us, y'all. But here in the building, I can't tell you how proud I am to be sitting here right now with this gentleman. He is the state senator-elect. Friend of the show, been with us for a long time. And so it is my pleasure and my honor to introduce to you the state senator-elect, Willie Preston. What's up, brother? How you feeling, man? You got to talk into it. You got to lean in.
So I'm feeling great, Maze. I appreciate you first and foremost for having me on the show. Thank you.
Oh, come on, man. Yo, home. We expect that. Let me tell you, I think that there is Willie Preston, because of where you sit in this space, there is a greater level of expectation. So I think from my standpoint, I know from our listening audience's standpoint, we don't you thanking us to be on the show, we're going to have an expectation that you'll be on the show on a regular basis as we try to make sure that we connect the dots. Brother, but with that in mind, first of all, tell me how it feels, man. Tell me what it's like. Willie, I remember you calling in to us because you were in pursuit of another office. We were at another station. You was always calling in, interjecting, providing an opinion, and I think I owe you one because you got me punched. But that's another story. Tell me, Willie, talk to me about what it is like. Senator-elect. Talk to me about what it feels like to actually have achieved the goal of getting elected.
Well, obviously it feels pretty good to, you put yourself, you put your family out, and, as our mayor, Harold Washington, once famously said, politics ain't beanbag. So it feels good to go through the process of campaigning for public office and actually being successful, right? So it feels really good, the short answer.
Perseverance, man. A lot of people take it and take a L and sometimes shrink away. You took a L, learned. Man, it was a pleasure to talk to you throughout the campaign and watch the growth and see you really growing into your space. And so I am proud, and I want to make sure you know that we are a resource, right? And one of my biggest concerns is oftentimes when we have people of like mind, they get far away from the crib, and then it's tough to stand on it. So we want to make sure that we provide you a resource. You got back here in Chicago. But that stated, man, you won and hit the ground running, bro. You are operating, in my opinion, as if you are the senator. Talk to me about that. What you got going on, man? Because you got big stuff coming up this weekend. Everybody. So I want to make sure y'all are clear. There's no excuses why you don't have school supplies, because people are putting it down. And Senator Preston, you are not slacking in it. Talk to me. What you got going on, man?
Well, first let me state and give deference to my predecessors, State Senator Jackie Collins. I am not the senator yet, and I want to afford her the respect she deserves.
Look at that. Look at that. Growth and development. Excuse me.
No, because I wouldn't want it done to me. So I am not acting as the state senator. Our senator is Jackie Collins until my term starts. But I will tell you, I'm just furthering what we've been doing, Maze. It's just I've been using this word to my family and to my people around me. We're just continuing to elevate. So right now, this weekend, we have our end of summer event. Sunday at the Dan Ryan Woods on 87th and Western Grove 12. We're gonna be giving kids school supplies. We're gonna have other resources out there, but it's a cookout. It's Black Chicago. I heard you talking about the festivals. Well, this is Black Chicago, and I am just doing my part to add value and to contribute to that, because we hear too often what's wrong in our community. And one thing that ain't never been wrong is a cookout amongst us. So I'm asking everybody to come on out. We have something for everybody this Sunday, August 14th, between the hours of 12 and 5, including, like you said, book bags and other resources for our children.
Now, Senator, I'm going to tell you, you're a senator now. So we don't want them old corn. We want the beef dogs. We want real hamburgers. We don't want the... And I'm going to tell you, let me tell you what, right now, them lobbyists, you better be like, I'm having a cookout. And you should be like, whatever you'd like to bring. But make sure you feed us the same way you eat, right? And they'll show up.
Without a doubt.
There it is.
Listen, let me be clear. My new saying, and I think we follow each other on social media, get you a senator that can cook. I am going to be on the grill myself, and if you come out, you get to experience all of the good, loving food that my children, family have grown to love, because I have transitioned from Chef Daddy to get you a senator that can cook.
Okay, well, I see you ain't missing too many meals, brother. Now, I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell the wife, because, let me send a big shout out to your wife, too, man. So let me back up, because I skipped all that. Senator-elect, you, to me, are an example to our community. One of my favorite things to do is watch your interactions with your children and your wife, and on social media, because y'all like the Brady Cosby. Okay, and without the bad stuff, but right, like, what? How many?
We got 6 children.
6, but they shooting for 10. Right now, 6. Look,
I'm shooting, but Brittany
is blocking.
I think Brittany and I have agreed that we are going to cease fire.
Okay. But Senator, I must tell you, it is a pleasure to watch a black family with what I believe are shared values in full highlight. And I'm excited to see what you're going to bring to the table. Talk to me about, as you head to Springfield, what will be do you think your focus is? You know, a lot of people come to Springfield and they got something that they want to do. What do you think that you will be focusing on?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that's a great question. So I campaigned on a few issues, but nothing more important than how do we create opportunities for people to be able to feed themselves, how people can get money. So I am focused on what helped me take care of my family, and that is, creating opportunities, particularly in the building trades. And I've had conversations with folks who didn't support me, along with those that did, and how do we create those type of real opportunities where you can see young people right now that are not participating in the building trades, and just our people in general. So a couple things: making certain that we create opportunities in the building trades, making certain that I am being very, very engaged as it relates to minority business, in particular black business owners, to see how they can be supported so they can grow, because what we all know is small business owners are the backbone of all economies, and in particular, black business owners hire people who look like them. And once we create those type of jobs for people in our community who are suffering from economic issues that is leading to all this shooting, we help black people, we help everybody. And that's where my focus will be. I'm focused on an economic agenda. Of course, with my 6 children, I am always going to be concerned about our children. So in addition to those economic advantages that I think will help all of our children when their parents are doing well or better financially, I want to make certain that our schools are taken care of, our children are getting the best possible quality education that they can get.
So, Senator, you mentioned, so one of the things I've watched is, I'm going to let that be. I am excited to see you come down. 2 of the things that are big issues to me, right, down in Springfield, are non-participation in cannabis, are non-participation in gaming. Multi-billion-dollar
two legacy industries
that we have no part in. And as we look to find ways in, it seems like there's always a reason. When you look at these industries, when you look at the VGTs, which are those Dotties and Lotties, they make over $200 million a month. A month, not a week. I mean, not a year, a month, with 0 participation. I don't understand how that happens. And I don't understand the justification of it. The same way with cannabis, we've seen that. Senator, my big concern for legislators like yourself is how do you remain true to the cause while still navigating the space with Springfield? Because I'm going to tell you, it's a different world when all of the white folks are honoring you and treating you like the greatest, but then they still kicking us to the curb. How do you anticipate navigating that and staying true to your true to why we all are so excited about you going down?
Well, I'll say this: I share your lack of understanding as to why we're not participating in both those legacy industries, and especially as it relates to cannabis, where we know that those tough on crime laws in the past, we still have people inside prison and their lives were destroyed on the back of this tough on crime policies, particularly our people, black people. So in addition to that, when we started to have these conversations around marijuana in general, medical and then on to recreational, it was always predicated on the fact that this was a social justice effort to to redress what happened to black people in particular in this country. And for us to not be able to achieve that goal, I'm a bit confused as well, and I'll be asking those questions. But to your point about being able to stay true to what you characterize as the cause, and in that environment, look, one of my favorite rappers, and I know you're a hip hop fan, is T.I. He said one of my favorite lines from him was, "I've been popular since kindergarten," and so since I have that's not going to move me. That's not going to be new. I have an incredible wife and children and family and friends that do all the praising of me that any man could legally be given. So I'm okay in that regard. That's not going to move me. I am motivated to make certain that I help our community. I'm motivated by making certain that I improve Illinois as a whole. And so where my focus, it's about, someone gave me some good advice. Just keep it professional. And that is what my intentions are. I'm going down to Springfield to be a professional. And in order to do that, I am building bridges with folks who didn't support me. I am looking to have relationships and build upon those relationships with my future colleagues to ensure that I'm supportive of them. And I'm very clear on where my support is, and I just spoke to that. It is helping people in my district gain jobs and people in the state gain jobs that are not given good quality, well-paid jobs, and making certain that minority business owners, in particular, black business owners, are supported. And those are my priorities. And I think that if I'm clear about relationships, my wife and I have been together for nearly 20 years. We're in our early 30s. Relationships are good, bad, and sometimes ugly. I know how to be in relationships with people. Sometimes we're not going to agree, and I understand that, but I am looking to build the type of relationships that is going to pay off in dividends to black people in particular. And those two industries are going to be very, very, they're going to be life-changing for a lot of people, and I want to make certain that they're life-changing and the positive effects are felt and met by our people.
And Senator-elect, one of the things that one of my other concerns in general for us is, me talking to the mic? Oh, okay. Tell him to talk to the mic.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But one of my big concerns is that oftentimes we are used as pawns, or often put in front of shields for other things. What I would tell you is that I am understanding the game. I am just very concerned about where we sit in the power dynamic right now. I got to tell you, looking at Illinois, and I'm not going to get you in no situations right now, but we are at a point where I'm not really sure what our benefit is right now out of the political system. I am not really sure why we vote in November. I am not sure that I have heard any explanations. I am not sure how we're supposed to operate when we have seen white members of our own party participate essentially in what I see as a mass destruction of black political power. I think if you look at right now, if you look at the Robin Kelly situation compared with a couple other situations, what do you see us getting right now from your standpoint? What is the motivation for black folks right now to participate in the system in Illinois?
Well, I think it's the same, that it is for every community. And that is, you're either, the saying, you're either at the table or on the menu.
So it seems like we've been on the menu. With all of the power in the world, we have been on the menu. Let me say this real quick. Thank you to everybody from WBGX 1570 AM. You are listening to State Senator-elect Willie Preston man, he is going down to Springfield in January, hopefully a little bit before January, so he can get him some seniority. We got to talk about that. You better call Father Flake up and get that work and get the people working. We figured that out. But we are talking to State Senator-elect Willie Preston. I know you got things to do, so this is what I'm going to do. I wanted to make sure you were on the air. Just answer that question, and then I want you to go back to reminding people. He got a big event this Sunday at the Dan Ryan Woods, and you got a senator that cooks. So we're going to have to test out. Hey, man, but I'm telling you, you a senator now. So I don't want them old, we expecting big meat. No, just talking. Anyway, we want the meat. Don't nobody want no drumsticks neither. No, I'm just playing. Senator, talk to me about that real quick.
So as a look, it is easy I learned a new term, by the way. Let me start there. Mau Mau. I've heard this term very recently. I didn't understand it. I think I was even pegged as a Mau Mau. And what that essentially stands for is people who do a lot of talking, to my understanding, and no acting. I think that there are some challenges that we face politically. We have diluted our numbers here, quite frankly. But I think what you asked a question a minute ago, you said you don't know why we vote in November. We vote in November for the same reasons that everybody else, because the realities are you are going to see there's going to be somebody elected who's going to influence those elections. If we don't participate in these elections, then we know we've taken ourselves off the board. That's leaving power on the table. I don't believe in that. I think that we have to do a greater job at making certain that the folks that we elect actually do what we want them to do. And when you talk about power, we got all the power in the world. I'm not certain that that's true, and I'm certain you should question that as well. Because we have people that look like us in office doesn't mean that we have power or that people who look like us are actually in this game for us. So you spoke to the point with me about lobbyists in that regard. I am empowered by the people who voted in my district. That I didn't have the establishment, the lobbyists, the special interest groups did not support me. It is the people that have supported me. So I have all the cover in the world to go down and advocate and fight for people. I think that what we have to start challenging folks on, I keep hearing all these conversations regarding the mayor as an example. We're talking about candidates and not an agenda, and I think we're moving backwards. We talk about an agenda, and that's how you build up to who the candidate will be, because we will be able to determine who our candidate is based upon our agenda.
So I'm cautioning you about the usage of the word Mau Maus, because I think the usage of the word Mau Maus often is used by us to discredit us. I think the people that are very often considered Mau Maus are the people that are going to keep raising the issues until someone addresses them. I think the Mau Mau term, right, and I have used it, is the British referring to the Africans who refuse to lay down, right? And so when we
learn something new every day, I didn't know that.
But again, it is, so when you think about the perspective, let me just say this. I think that, Willie, Senator-elect, we know that there's a lot of people screaming. Really, because a lot of people that I know have been in the wilderness for 20 years. Talking about the issues that are real issues that ideally the people that they elect are supposed to hear and respond. You're supposed to make me not a Mau Mau. You're supposed to make me say, man, Maze, here is where we win in 20 years. When I see the same people on the field, I talk a lot of smack about the people being on the field for 20 years, but when you look at where we've gone in 20 years, right, it has in some cases gotten worse. So I just want to caution you on that, because right now what the process will be is, hey, man, you one of us, right? And so they ain't going to never be happy. Them Negroes going to be, and then those are the steps. I think that all the Mau Maus should be tools to be like, look, man, I'm not crazy. There are people who are out here. Now, there's going to be people that are just, no matter what you do, right? And your job now is to navigate that space, but never lose the ability to walk amongst your people, because that is the difference, right? Like, we rooting for you.
Oh, without question. Let me say this, Mace. Look, I probably improperly used the term out.
Okay.
It's a new term to me.
Right. Say, who gave it to you?
So that's neither here nor there. But what I will say is, we can't discredit all of the gains were made for our people through the political process. If we just take a snapshot of the last 10, 15, 20 years here in Chicago and in Illinois, then yeah, we probably say ain't no reason for us to vote in November. But we have a rich history of making certain that our people have made gains through the political process. Now, I will submit that there are individuals in our community, from our community, that's doing quite well, but collectively we are not doing well. So I want to tell people that you have to we continue to use our collective voice, but let's start to refocus. Put less on the candidates and more on the agenda. And I think that's really what got me through. So that's been my experience in this. It was the agenda that I had. So we have to make certain that we focus on our agenda. What do we want out of Springfield? We want to participate in the economy of those legacy industries that we talked about, right? So that's why we're going to the polls in November. We're speaking, and now you have someone, like you said, and myself and others, me now being an elected senator-elect, not yet sworn in, but you have someone who it is my duty to go out and use my microphone, to amplify those interests that we say we want. So that's why you're going down there in November. You're going down there in November to protect me, to give me a voice. So you all, when we go out and vote in November, I want to vote better than anybody. But the realities are we have to have elected officials that are speaking to the issues that are really going to touch our people and make people feel like I got something out of that deal.
So I'm going to tell you, you should tell the people, right? Because now you got a direct path. We want to see you successful, but it's the same.
Well, don't stop voting now. Now that I got in, everybody wants to stop voting.
No, I'm going to encourage everybody in your district, right? Because I don't get to vote for you. I want to, but I don't get to vote for you. I think, Senator-elect, there is a rumbling that is happening in the black community that you have access to. And I do think that as you're in your conversations, it's not sweet out here. And I think that a lot of people have been built, it's like these festivals where they build up a wall so that you can't see the community, you can't see down the street. And on that note, here's what I'm going to do. Because I want you to have a successful career, right? And I want to make sure that we are there to support you. You have a unique place in the world right now, which is you can move between all the spaces, right? Don't let them people block you from your superpowers. That's all I would tell you, right? Because they all going to come and tell you. And that Mau made me know they working on it. But that stated, we know you will.
I want to talk about something real quick. You talked about getting punched. I got punched too by an elected official. I ducked, and it was over you, and it was over coming on this show. There are folks who are interested in me now in this position, diverting from what got me here and disassociating with certain individuals and not coming on the What's On It for the Black People show. That's the reality. But here's also the realities. My dad told me something that I take with me and I've carried with me my entire life. And it talks about relationships and values. I like to dance with who brought me to the party. Now, politics is a game of addition. Again, we're going to welcome all of the support from folks who supported us and those who didn't. And the realities is I know the things that I'm talking about is mainstream in Illinois. I'm talking about helping reduce gun violence, stopping people from getting killed, improving people's financial standing. I mean, I don't know a colleague of mine that I've had a discussion with, and I've had discussions with several of my colleagues, black, white, and Hispanic, and everyone in between. And I think that everybody is agreeing on this is the time, like no other time, that we have to focus in on the folks who need the most support in terms of, getting access to jobs, careers, and elevating in the business space. So I think we're going to have, I think we are seeing some some things that we're not completely happy with in Illinois politics. But on the flip side, there is a bright side to all of this, and that is we still have a significant role to play in politics, and our numbers are not, and we vote. That's the only reason we're in the political discussions at all, because we demonstrate on a consistent basis that we're going to act politically through the electoral process.
Willie Preston, I'm gonna tell you, Senator-elect, my faith in Illinois politics is rapidly waning. You are one of the bright spots there, and I want to make sure you know that this is a home that you should come to, like that you should be. And I think it's crazy that anybody should tell you that you should run from your own people, but therein is, you heard it from the horse's mouth, the Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages. Senator, tell them one more time about the event.
So yeah, y'all come on out Sunday at the Dan Ryan Woods. If you're a South Side or not, we want everybody to come on outside Sunday, August 14th, between 12 and 5 p.m. And we're gonna have something for everybody. We got school supplies for the kids. We have book bags, school supplies, all the food, and other things. If you need some folks who want to keep at home, so we have folks out there that's gonna get you approved, pre-approved, so we can get you a home loan. We have CPD coming out. We want to see our numbers increase in that field. Don't run away from that good career in the city. There are a lot of benefits, and we need our people inside that department. So we have CPD recruitment coming out. We just have a ton of things. We want y'all to come out, have a good time, and fellowship with your people. And I look forward to meeting everybody out there. And I'm going to be highly disappointed if I don't see the Lions Den. I am an official Lions Den member. I want to see my people. So look forward to seeing y'all. Come on out Sunday.
Hey, they saying something that's going on with this sound. But look, y'all, it's the Mays Jackson Show. Host Mays Jackson. DJ Ruthie, it was great to have you, State Senator-elect. And we're going to have to get over there and, talk to, we're going to get some negotiations, because you need to get down there soon. Right? So you can get that seniority, bro. I know they're talking to you about it. Get on the list. It's the Mays Jackson Show. We appreciate you being here. We'll be back.
Thank you.